Madam Savvy on X. They have not verified they are still against Cuties after their staff is caught deleting tweets shaming the movie. So this is, I'll get to Madam Savvy in just a second, but this is in response to the National Center on Sexual Exploitation. And they quote, "This isn't about censorship. It's about protecting women and girls by not promoting games based on that. Check out the full blog from a gamer's perspective." All right, so first off, I'm going to need X to doubt on this because a gamer's perspective for the NCOSE, are we serious right now? Hundreds of that stuff removed from Steam. A gamer's perspective. I think we all know where this is going. Trigger warning. Disturbing discussions of glorify. Oh no, that's disturbing. So imaginary fake things is a trigger warning. Hey, I got an idea. Get off fucking internet if you're triggered from fiction because you're going to have a bad time on the internet. And quoting, "I didn't have to provide any ID or anything to verify my age and see some of the worst that stuff I've ever seen. It was pretty bad. Some things I saw. I'm talking about games where the scenario is abducting, holding them, and that any child could access that." Caitlin Roper, campaigns manager, Collective Shout. Oh, okay. So now we are referencing our buddies to back up our own claims. Sure, that's going to go really far. Recently, our friends at Collective Shout in Australia, so now they're friends, celebrated the success. Look at them piggybacking off this. The success of their campaign, urging the removal of nearly 500 of those games from the video game platform Steam and itch. These games allowed the player to act out explicit, which, by the way, this may have been true initially. It is no longer true because it's just removed everything because it was like, oh shit, we don't want to fuck with MasterCard and Visa right now. So we're going to do a case by case and bring them back. The free ones are coming back. And then they're going to work out an option to get the other ones back for people to be able to purchase them. So this, while technically not a lie, is a lie by omission because they're saying, oh, they got removed. It's like, yeah. And now they're coming back. But why did you leave that part out of it? Oh, because it wouldn't sound as good with your activism. These games allowed the player to act out explicit acts of that, and that against fictionally. And what do you mean act out? What do you mean act out? What about movies where that stuff happens? What about books where the main protagonist does it? I don't see any issues with kids going on Amazon and purchasing those books as well. I mean, using their parents' credit card or whatever, just like you're saying here with itch or Steam, doesn't seem like there's much of a problem with it. But for some reason, games have a massive problem with it. It's very strange. The fact that these games have been removed is an incredible victory, which NCOSE unequivocally celebrates and commends Collective Shout for, which we'll get back to with Madam Savvy in just a second. But at the same time, this incident has sparked a surprising amount of surprising. So now you're censoring games from people and you're fucking surprised? Are you retarded? What? Which have reached national headlines as both a gamer, X'd out, and an advocate against. So you're an activist. Go work for fucking Kotaku. You are not a gamer. I believe I have a unique perspective on this issue and can speak to the various concerns raised from both sides. Oh, I bet, guys, this is going to be a very impartial both sides argument we're going to hear here. What could possibly go wrong? And definitely no disingenuousness coming from this person. In this piece, I will walk through the events that led up to the game's removal, the objections and the controversy it sparked, and my response. No Mercy, the game that started everything. This all began with a game called No Mercy, which if you guys missed that, there was a massive, massive backlash from this. I talked about it. Many people, I'm definitely not alone on this, talked about this for the very reason of I had zero intention to ever play No Mercy. I didn't give a shit about it, but I will fight for its right to be available for people that want to play it. If it's a fucked up game, I literally don't care. If it's not portraying actual children in compromising positions, you know what? And if it follows the laws of the local government, legitimately, I have no issues with it. Of course, there's going to be certain exceptions made when it comes to this stuff. But the problem with companies, or I should say feminist activist groups like Collective Shout and NCOSE, is they push their propaganda and agenda forward, not caring about artistic creativity and ingenuity from actual developers. They want themselves to be the ones heard. This game allows players to assume the persona of a man that does this with a self-proclaimed huge focus on that and that. Okay, again, I go back to, where is this energy when it comes to Hollywood movies and books? Where is the same energy? Why is it with video games? You call yourself a gamer. I know you're not a gamer, because if you're a gamer and you're playing this game and you're taken back by it and grossed out by it, I have one question. Why the fuck are you playing this game? Are you retarded? I guess that's two questions. Because if you do your research and understand the game that you're getting yourself into, you would know it's something that's going to be a very off-putting experience for you, that you don't want to participate in that you don't want to see this stuff. And you move on and you go find fucking Tales of the Shire and go cook some Hobbit meals with your 4 out of 10 from IGN. Have fun with that. Back in March of this year, a male gamer, oh my God, a male gamer notified Collective Shout about the game and began sending emails to Steam, requesting, great. Guys, I'm sure Steam gets emails all the time. What made this different? This prompted Collective Shout to invite supporters. Oh, so an organized harassment campaign against Steam. I mean, I'm just using your terminology. This is confirmed now. They're self-admitted. A organized harassment campaign, a hate campaign against actual gamers. That's what this is, using their terminology. Urging them to remove No Mercy. 3,463 emails are sent. They say that like that's a big number. Could you guys imagine how many emails have been sent to Steam over this since then against this action? They thought that was a lot. Steam did not respond. Because of this inaction, Collective Shout then organized a hate campaign. Oh, sorry, I misread. A petition for the removal of this game from Steam. 70,000 people signed this petition, yet no action was taken. Well, now we have nearly 250,000 people signing the petition for Visa and MasterCard to not restrict game sales. In less than 2 weeks, 250,000 people have signed that. Dwarfing your number, by the way. It should be power in numbers, by the way, wouldn't you think? Ultimately, the developer of this game, not Steam, pulled No Mercy from the platform on April 11th. Steam removed, so it wasn't even Steam that pulled it. The developer pulled it under intense pressure from the community, from these people. Great. I shouldn't say from the community. Definitely not the community. Gamers were not emailing this developer. Gamers didn't give a shit. These games come up all the time. Go to the NSFW area of Steam. If you get offended easily, you're going to have a bad time. Steam removes 500 game insets from its delist 20,000 NSFW games. Supporters of this campaign continue to... This is, again, I'm not going to read this whole thing because this is just an organized hate campaign, as they always put it, to get their agenda pushed forward because these are activists. A few weeks later, Collective Shout crafted an open letter with 8 global partners and experts to mainstream payment processors. NCOSE was a proud co-signer of this letter, calling on these processors to stop profiting from that stuff. Why? 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 Who cares? Why do you have an issue with that? Why is it? Why are you making these things? Why are you making these things worse than murder and death? Why are these worse than it? Now, people could argue, and I might hear the argument of they're on the same level of that. I'm like, okay, I'll hear that argument out. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I'll hear that argument out. What I don't understand is why these games are somehow worse than, I don't know, Call of Duty, like any first-person shooter game, or any third-person shooter, any shooter game in general, where it's literally just killing all over the place. But for some reason, you take issue with this stuff. Very, very strange. These games endorsing men's sexualized abuse and torture of women and girls fly in the face of efforts to address violence against women. So it flies in the face of what your agenda is. Okay. So think about it like this. What if there was an activist group against murder in games? And also, what if there was an activist group against stealing things in games? And what if there was an activist group against saying bad words in games? And what if there was an activist group? You get where I'm going with this. And all of these activist groups get what they want. What's going to be left in gaming? You see how dangerous this slippery slope is. These people are not any more special than any of those other activist groups. There's no reason they should get priority when it comes to taking games down. And this is why there's massive backlash from it. And if you don't stand up to this, you don't stand up to anything. Because first they come for this shit, then they come for whatever games you play. And that's why the entire community in gaming is united on this. Both sides, by the way, left, right, doesn't matter. Everyone sees exactly what's happening right now. And even people like Alyssa Mercante are pushing back against it. That's something I never thought I'd see. Someone that advocates to get YouTube channels demonetized and taken down is saying this is not a good direction. Weird, kind of flies in the face of other stuff you do, but it goes to show how powerful this group moving against them is. 5 days after this letter was sent, Steam implemented a new policy stating developers cannot publish content that may violate the rules and set forth standards of Steam's payment processors. Here's a few examples. Look at this victory lap. I thought they said they were going to be impartial to all this. Oh no. What's that? A mean tweet? A mean tweet? Oh God, I don't know how Melinda Tankard Reese is going to be able to go to sleep with someone sending a mean picture to her. Melinda, is it Melinda? Whatever the fuck your name is. I get about one of these a day, maybe more. I typically quote tweet and laugh at them. I feel like you take them a little bit more to heart. Sounds like a you problem. And maybe you should step away from the internet if you let this stuff get to you. Now, what I won't stand for, and I'll say this, even for this Melinda Tankard Reese, I won't stand for doxing. I won't stand for actual threats on her life or anything like that. I'm not down with that. But if we're going to be razzing, welcome to the internet, Melinda. Holy shit. First day? Like, what? You want to start policing Twitter? You're going to have a bad time. Some in the gaming community expressed concern this could lead to censorship of other games. Very true. Such as other ones displaying violence or LGBTQ plus themes, which is why the entire community is together on this. But there is really no comparison to generally violent games or LGBTQ plus content and this violent and hateful. Why? What you need to explain. Games like No Mercy encourage players to do this for female characters and reward them for doing so. It was okay. And LGBTQ games can have gay stuff in it. What if you're Christian and that goes against your religion? Wouldn't you think that they would say that's really bad? And it's definitely on the same level based off of their own ideologies. The problem that I'm seeing here with this person is they're locked in their own ideologies so deeply that they don't understand that there are other people that believe different things. And it's really as simple as that. This goes on forever. I'm not going to read this whole thing because we'll be here all night. But my goodness, I want to get back to what Savvy was saying about this because this kind of puts icing on the cake for it. She said, they have not verified they are still against Cuties after their staff is caught deleting tweets shaming the movie. And for those of you that missed it, NCOSE, this National Center for Sexual Exploitation, had tweets shaming Cuties, saying that it was bad, disgusting, horrific for the little girls involved with it, which I agree. Terrible things. Little girls in real life should not be involved with that kind of stuff. That is mental. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. They were like very adamant against it. And then NCOSE found a partner in Collective Shout who supported Cuties. And what did NCOSE do? They deleted their old tweets that were shaming Netflix because it clashed with what Collective Shout was saying about it, just so they could partner up with them. Talk about zero standards, lack of morals. They don't give a shit about what they stand for. They just want to push propaganda in their agenda to get more power and attention. And if it means not standing about what you believed in before, just to stick with other people, it means doing that, which is what they've done here. It would appear NCOSE does not care about little girls as they reference their child exploitation defending friends, Collective Shout. Now, why don't you interview a woman who does not want those games to exist? Smiley face. Interesting. It really does make you think, doesn't it? It's not the first time, by the way. It's not the first time. I'll end it with this. Chiba Reviews says, remember when payment processors went after sites like Patreon years ago? Don't let them gaslight you into thinking they haven't been doing shady shit for decades. And this right here, banger. There needs to be legislation that prevents payment processors from blocking these kind of payments. The only exception should be actual non-consensual content like revenge, that, or that, and child stuff. MasterCard and Visa shouldn't decide how I spend my money. Yep. And oh, by the way, even if these are a thing, that's not for MasterCard and Visa to decide if that qualifies or not. That should come to the government or the storefronts platforming them, not Visa and MasterCard. They're out of their element. They're out of their jurisdiction. And oh, by the way, one more thing. One more thing. This is Renee Chopping, who works on the board of Collective Shout, who I am currently blocked by, in case you're wondering. Program director working with survivors of that, activist and advocate of Collective Shout for a world free of that. Posts are my own, and I'm blocked for some reason. I don't even know who this person is. I may have replied to them once. OnlyFans hosts and profits from that, and that. It facilitates men's that and makes it profitable and takes its 20% cut in the process. I'm sorry. Are these girls expressing themselves? I thought you guys were for the freedom of expression for women of age, consensual adults doing what they want to do. Renee, are you going to go after strip clubs next? What? I mean, where do you stop? Where do you draw the line? These women are allowed to do what they want to do. You have no jurisdiction on other people's lives. Stop it. This is crazy that they've even been able to be given a footing in any of this. But thankfully, the community is fighting back. And one thing I will say, it's making a difference. Please continue to contact Visa, MasterCard, call them, let them know. Cordially, of course, don't be a dick about your frustrations with what they did. And let them know that they've been community noted for gaslighting and lying on social media about not being a part of what they did when they absolutely were. And with that being said, I'll leave that there.